What is up, VIP? It's your boy Jumpman. It's late tonight. We're gonna go over some stuff, some homework. We had a great day today. A lot of pump action, a lot of gains, and we need to start making sure we're prepared for the next leg up. Making sure that we're staying diversified and we're staying ahead of the pack. So a lot of these little things have been popping up around X and all these other YouTube accounts. We've been kind of staying ahead of the pack here. So I posted this earlier in the Discord, so hopefully you guys had some time to look at it. But if not, we will go over some of these. We're not going to go over all of these, but we're going to go over some that I believe will have a higher chance of showing some favorability into this basket than others. And let's not waste any more time. So we're going to talk about Aptos and Sui. They're both layer ones. They operate off the Move network, which is basically like an efficient infrastructure that is known for security. Uh, one of the biggest things though is that these guys are both from having ties with Meta, Facebook, and as these bigger corporations like X and Facebook get bigger, and then these type of cryptocurrencies get integrated into today's world. I'm confident that I know one day Elon's going to add Doge and all these other payments into his system. And it would only make sense that, people that used to work with the Meta team, Aptos and Sui, would have some type of ties in with Mark Zuckerberg to integrate these into their payment systems if they ever came about. So, guys, keep that in mind. I'm not saying that this could happen, but, like I said, it would only make sense if crypto will become the crypto hub of the United States, and these both being US based cryptos. Wouldn't that make sense to you guys? Duh. Also, Eric Trump is a big holder of Sui. So, like I said, you want to kind of swim with the whales and what they're doing. I'm looking for maybe Sui to anywhere between $9 to $10 this cycle, maybe. Aptos maybe can do maybe 45 to $50 only because it doesn't have a biggest market cap as Sui, and I believe the tokenomics are a little bit more friendlier than Sui. So, guys, these are the ones that you most definitely want to keep on your radar if you guys are looking for something to park some money in. And the next one we're going to go over is Chainlink. Chainlink is a veteran crypto. It's a decentralized oracle, and it bridges smart contracts with real world assets. Look, it's no secret that this is a darling in BlackRock and World Liberty Fi's portfolio. I think if we're talking about any type of RWA tokenization, Chainlink is going to be at the forefront. I was actually surprised that this wasn't actually named, in the reserve first, but I am confident with probably a 99.9% certainty that this will be on the next wave of being part of the strategic reserve. This one has a little bit of a higher market cap, so I would probably treat this more as if like you're parking big amounts of money in if you're looking for just a solid 3 to 4x flip. So guys, keep that one in mind as well. Ondo Finance is an RWA DeFi platform, and it's basically somewhat like Chainlink, but it's just operates on the DeFi side more. It's RWA, and it does a lot of fixed incomes, bridging traditional finance with the crypto world. It does a lot of tokenization, and I guess would be considered a governance token. It has a lot of attention from BlackRock as well, and they are very, very much involved with this administration. They have, I think, they were funding some of the crypto balls and some of the events that Trump has been hosting. So you best better believe that these guys are probably very much at the forefront of being on this reserve as well. As far as price prediction, I'm thinking this thing could probably go anywhere between $5 to $10. I think that's very fair for a price that it's at right now. So, if anything, if you guys newer guys, if you are just looking for the most safest crypto asset to pick up, I'm gonna have to go with Ondo Finance for sure. This is probably a plus one to go with. The next one we're gonna go with Render. Render is an GPU. Uh, it's a GPU token. It basically has the ability to kind of I mean, I'm so hard at explaining this shit because like computing and AI tokens are so complex to explain. I mean, I could just let you guys read off it, but I don't really want to like I want to kind of have like be able to explain it to you guys. So they use some type of language called render, and I know that it helps save so much like time, and it makes things more efficient. Like best way I could probably explain it is if you're comparing NVIDIA to the whole DeepSeek thing. You know, when DeepSeek was like crashing the market because it was basically like a cheaper version of Chat GBT, but like basically half the cost. That would probably be the closest thing that I could probably compare the two. Render does have big partnerships with like NVIDIA. So if you ever notice, like whenever NVIDIA does good, Render always has the same type of pump that NVIDIA does. A lot of people like Tau. I like Tau too, but I think if you're just trying to stick with an actual US based company, Render is going to be the one that obviously is going to be a lot more of a blue chip, in my opinion. So you guys should probably keep that on your radar. The next one is going to be Optimism. So Optimism is a layer two. The best way I can describe layer twos is they're basically just a support crutch for Ethereum. They help Ethereum operate better, and what it does, it just helps it scale, and it reduces the transaction costs of Ethereum. Uh, you know, Ethereum's a very complex uh, token to understand. A lot of people don't like it because they say it's expensive. But guys, look, man, like it or not, Ethereum is very much a big dog, and it's going to stay that way. I know a lot of people are thinking these other tokens are going to flip them. I don't think that's happening, especially with more and more institutional players coming into the game. But Optimism, in my opinion, is just it's more favored on the base network. So if you're familiar with like base network, like Arrow and all these other tokens like that, uh, Optimism is going to be the actual foundation that these tokens are running on. As far as price wise, it's at $1.10 right now. I'm looking for this thing to hit anywhere between $4 to $5. I think this would probably be one of the safest, 300 to 400% returns that is on this list, other than Ondo. So if you're trying to build like a really safe, scared, portfolio, I would probably go with this one as well. So, you know what I mean? I picked up some, when it was on this dip. So I'm gonna be holding it for, maybe a $3 to $4 zone, and I'm gonna be taking profits. All right, the next one we're gonna get into is AVAX. AVAX is layer one, and I know this token very well because I've been holding this shit coin for a long time. So it's an ISO 22 compliant token. It basically speaks the same language as XRP, XLM, and XDC. So the ISO 22, if I can kind of sum it up for some people that are not all crypto savvy, it's a certain language that banks need to process payments. They have to go through like a really extensive checklist of criteria. And each time these cryptocurrencies check off these lists, they make them qualifiers for being able to integrate with banks. So that's something to keep in mind. It's also an RWA, as the same as Chainlink, Ondo, and so that's another thing to keep in mind. It's had certain partnerships with the California Department of Motor Vehicles. They did a lot of vehicle title managements there, which is pretty interesting. And then also it has partnerships with gaming, like BMAX. They've had some pretty big games launched on there, like Off the Grid and Gunzilla. Gaming's been a little bit of a lackluster this year, but once Off the Grid is able to actually fully fledged crypto payments on there, it should be a catalyst to bring this effing thing back to its rightful place that it needs to be. Um, Wyoming also launched a stable coin integrating Avalanche. So, that's another thing to keep in mind, guys. They are partnered up with Visa, and there's a few NFL teams that are actually sponsored by AVAX, and they're looking for headquarters here in New York. So, most definitely keep that on your radar, gentlemen and ladies. And the next one is one of my darling cryptocurrencies. You guys hear me talk about it all the time. I love Parcels, guys. I don't think it's gonna be part of the strategic reserve, but I think Parcels does something that is completely different than a lot of other cryptocurrencies that I've seen. For one, it's on the Solana ecosystem, so that already makes it bullish right off the bat. It has big partnerships with Coinbase Ventures, and Parcels is a cryptocurrency on the Solana ecosystem that focuses on the revolutionizing the real estate through blockchain technology. So it's like a betting slash you can trade property on like basically how you trade cryptocurrencies. Pretty crazy. It almost seems like it's like like you can own property like an NFT almost. Um, you know, I know it's kind of weird. In a lot of these cryptocurrencies, it's kind of hard to really understand it. But I look at just things like certain niches like RWA. So we talked about Chainlink, we talked about Ondo. Those are both RWAs with fairly large market caps. Then you got something like Parcels, that which is at a 30 million market cap. So it's safe to say that if RWAs are going to have a really strong cycle this year, then why would you want to be in something that is all the way in the billions when you could be in something in the millions? And we could just consider this a Hail Mary play. I'm not saying put all your portfolio into Parcels, but this is where the money's made, ladies and gents. The Hail Marys. I currently have about $7,000 to $8,000 into Parcels, and I'm looking for a 10 to 20 to maybe even a 30x on this token. I'm not in a rush to sell it. If I need to hold it for a couple years, I'm fine. This is where the money's made. A lot of people that were in XCN and ACH, these people were holding these tokens for years. And this is the part that I was telling you guys about the newcomers that are coming into crypto. You guys are coming from like these bigger, you know, uh, massive servers that, they're hype tokens. And you just got the same people chasing these tokens. But this is how it was done. These people that held these, what we call pump and dumps for a long time. And we just put money in them, put money in them, put money in them. And we just let it sit there. And then when it finally gets its time to shine, all the hype and all the people that are buying into this token, it just creates a massive run up. And then the rest. You get the 20x's and you get the 15x's, and this is where the money's made. Remember, all these tokens do something. Some of them are just ridiculous. Some of the things that I've heard them do, this is like the most ridiculous shit ever. But this is where the money's made, guys. If I told you what Parcels did, what does it really matter? Because at the end of the day, what did XCN do before you bought it or before you thought about buying it? Oh, because they got a partnership with Visa? Well, that partnership became exit liquidity for people because the people bought before you. A lot of these big events in the news that you guys hear on these tokens, they're sell the news. A lot of times people just want to be constantly like pampered and told like, oh, okay, well, Parcels is going to help you wipe your ass or it's going to help you do this and do that. You know, guys, look, each one of these tokens, 80% of them won't work. The name of the game is to make sure that you're here before retail. I'm part of a few big groups, and these are tokens that they've talked about when they were at 50 cents, 40 cents. Now they're at 15 cents. So the object of the game is to be in early, low market cap. So once retail does come back, and you got to think about it, they're going to be thinking like, oh man, all these tokens are so damn high. What's the next token that I can run into? Oh, Parcels. And they start putting their money in, but guess what? You're already in. So what happens? They become exit liquidity. I know it sounds ugly, but that's just the way it is, guys. It happens in the stock market. And you know the old saying, once you hear about it on the news, it's already too late. Same thing goes with crypto. So, you know, I like it because it's just something different, man. It gives you the ability to have fractional ownership of property. It's a US token, so I think that, it will do fairly okay. And, with it being on a Solana network, it being on Coinbase, it being a few groups that I am in that I've been watching, and it's at a decent price. This gives me the reason to believe that Parcels is most definitely something that I would have to give an A plus plus approval for it, and it should be in your portfolio. And guys, with that being said, I'm gonna scroll up real quick and just give you a couple of notable cryptocurrencies as well. Filecoin, Celestia. All these other coins, you know, I don't know. Stacks is okay, but it's been a little bit of a lackluster. Celestia is something that is going to do really good, I think. But I don't want to put too many tokens on here because it just kind of clouds everybody's like, oh man, there's too many tokens. It's hard for me to decide. And I didn't want to get too technical with a lot of these explanations. A lot of the times I just like to keep it kind of cheap and sleazy. That's what kind of guy I am, you know. And I feel like when you start getting too much into the nitty gritty of these things, you become emotionally attached to what these cryptos do. At the end of the day, man, look, they're just vehicles that move money. That's it. When you start hearing the tech and you start falling in love with it, you start turning into a lot of these holders that, from other tokens like Caspa, you start just getting too zombified into like what they are to actually really, treat them as just what they truly are, which is a vehicle for wealth. All right, guys, look, I'm going to kill it off. I got a lot of stuff to do still. I got to post some charts for tomorrow and we got to get ready for tomorrow. You guys stay blessed. Thank you guys so much for giving me your time and your just your ears. And remember, this is a VIP only video, so I need to see a lot of likes in here to justify this because I need the love. You guys take it easy. Jumpman is out like a scout. Deuce.